Hey, what's up, everyone? So, the Indianapolis Colts reported to Grand Park in Westfield for training camp today, and with that, we got a chance to catch up with some of the players after their summer off season, and we also got a chance to talk with General Manager Chris Ballard. So, just want to kind of go over some of the bullet points, some of the more notable things that were said or happened today. Starting out with player availability, Darius Leonard, who sat out pretty much all the on-field stuff, rehabbing an ankle injury, all the minicamp OTAs, all that stuff. He said that he'll be back on the field when practice begins tomorrow, Thursday. Whether he'll be limited or not, we don't know. Could be full capacity. We'll see. But it's still a great sign that he'll be out there when practice begins. T.Y. Hilton, who's been a part of some pretty talented Colts teams in his time since 2012, he said that this is the hungriest, most talented Colts team that he's been a part of so far. So again, that's another great thing to hear. There's a lot of young guys on this team, so that really says something about this team that already has accomplished more than a lot of people would have expected at this point in what you would consider their rebuild. We also spoke with rookie defensive end and linebacker Ben Banigou. He said that he spent about a week and a half working with former Colts edge rusher Robert Mathis over at his facility at Grand Park. And that's really great news because he's kind of a raw pass rushing talent. When you watch his tape, watch his combine workout, you can see there's the pure athleticism, but he's still got to kind of work on putting it all together. So working with a pass rush specialist like Mathis, that's huge. It's great to see. It's kind of reminiscent of Kemoko Toure at this point in his development. Two really good athletes still learn to become complete pass rushers, and someone like Mathis is definitely someone who could help them get there. Nyheim Hines as well, second-year running back, known for his speed and pass-catching prowess. He ran a 4.38 40-yard dash before the draft last year, and he told us that he thinks he's even faster now after doing a lot of just track workouts during the off season. So we'll have to see if that's the case. Hopefully we see him kind of bust out into the open field, maybe on a screen or outside run, and really show that speed. Because his college film from NC State, it showed a guy that looked like he was a cannon getting shot out. So his speed can be alarmingly fast at times. And then we spoke with General Manager Chris Ballard. He started out by pointing out how Grand Park is second to none as far as training camp facilities go around the NFL. And while I haven't been to those other facilities, I have no reference for that. I can speak to how great of a place Grand Park is. If you've never been there, you've got to make it out sometime if you're from the Indy area. Whether it's a Colts training camp practice or maybe you or your kid has had a tournament there or something, whether it's lacrosse, baseball, what have you, it's an awesome facility. Definitely state-of-the-art. It's a nice place. Ballard also spoke about some of the guys who might be a little limited out on the field to begin with. He mentioned, He mentioned Andrew Luck, Deion Kane, Clayton Geathers, Carroll Phillips, who just came off of the PUP list, Jack Doyle, Ross Travis, Spencer Ware, and Darius Fountain. Ware actually was just placed on PUP today with a muscle injury, and Fountain was taken off of the non-football injury list today. He rolled his ankle a couple weeks ago while working out, but he is now good to go. But like I said, Ballard indicated they will probably be on working on a limited fashion. Ware's injury is expected to keep him out about a week or two. Ballard said he's going to lean more towards 2 weeks just to play it safe. Doesn't want to give any exact timelines or anything along those lines, understandably. When mentioning some of the position groups that'll have some of the most competition, some of the deeper groups, Ballard mentioned offensive line, defensive line, and wide receiver. For offensive line and defensive line to be mentioned along there, that's got to be great news for Ballard and head coach Frank Reich. That's what they want to build their team on, is those two lines. And if you've looked at any of their depth in those units, you can easily see it. And then wide receiver as well. there's gonna be some really tough decisions made at the end of camp. There's gonna be some good receivers that don't make the team just from a numbers game perspective. There's probably 6 or 7 guys who have a real strong case to make the roster, and teams just really don't carry that many receivers on the roster. So those I would agree. Those are going to be some intriguing battles to watch. And then Ballard kind of singled out some guys when talking about those position groups. LaRaven Clark on the offensive line, who's worked at tackle and guard that we've seen over his last few seasons. They said they've been really impressed with him, which is good because he's always been an athletic guy too. Coming out of Texas Tech, he was kind of a similar guy that we mentioned with Toure and Banagoo, but as an offensive lineman, really athletic guy, really talented. Just needed to learn how to put it all together. And now with offensive line coaches Howard Mudd and Chris Strasser, that's 2 guys who you can absolutely count on to teach an athletic guy like that how to kind of put it all together. At receiver, Ballard singled out Zach Pascal, who this time last year, if he was on the team, he was a relative unknown, but entered camp as someone who people just kind of said, it's probably a camp body. He made the team. On a couple occasions, I refer to his hands as bear traps because he caught everything. He could rip the ball away from defenders if multiple guys were going from it at the same time. And then he did some good things during the regular season too. So that's a guy who, he might get overshadowed by some of the other guys battling for those last roster spots at receiver. But don't count him out. He's still getting better as well and has already looked good. And then probably some of the highest praise that Ballard doled out today was that of Darius Leonard and his ability to create turnovers for the Colts defense. He compared him to former Chicago Bears cornerback Chris Peanut Tillman. A lot of people around here, just from proximity to Chicago, know about him. Tillman was one of the best at creating turnovers, whether it was forcing fumbles, interceptions, what have you. And he said Leonard kind of has that similar gene. He compares him to Tillman as a kind of a ball hawk. And he said he even texted Tillman that one time and said, we have the linebacker version of you when it comes to forcing turnovers. So that's pretty high praise. And then so far, the kind of the final notable things of the day were some roster moves. Of course, Fountain was activated. Spencer Ware was placed on the PUP list. And then the Colts announced the signing of center Daniel Munier and running back. I'm probably going to get this name wrong, so hopefully I can get that corrected in the next day or so. Asa Derek Ware. And they also waived defensive end Dottie Nicholas and guard Nico Siragusa. So that's it for today. Colts training camp report day. I'm going to have these videos out after each practice as well, so definitely follow along. I'll try to keep you guys in the loop as to what's going on, who's impressing, what battles might look like, who's running with first, second, third units, what have you. Follow along here on YouTube and also, of course, on Colts.com. My most frequent live updates will be on Twitter at JakeArthurNFL. Thanks, guys.